I want to make it clear today that my administration will focus on ending the absolutely horrific practice of human trafficking, and I am prepared to bring the full force and weight of our government to the federal and at the federal level and the other highest levels, whatever we can do in order to solve this horrific problem, getting worse, and it's happening in the United States, in addition to the rest of the world, but it's happening in the United States, which is terrible. Human trafficking is a dire problem, both domestically and internationally, and is one that's made really a challenge, and it's really made possible to a large extent more of a modern phenomenon by what's taking place on the internet, as you probably know. Solving the human trafficking epidemic, which is what it is a priority for my administration. We're going to help out a lot. Solve is a wonderful word, a beautiful word, but I can tell you we're going to help a lot. I'll direct the Department of Justice, the Department of Homeland Security, and other federal agencies that have a role in preventing human trafficking to take a hard look at the resources and personnel that they're currently devoting to this fight. Now, they are devoting a lot, but we're going to be devoting more. Dedicated men and women across the federal government have focused on this for some time. As you know, a lot of you have been dealing with the federal government, and it's been much more focused over the last 4 weeks, I can tell you that. I cannot thank each of you enough, and the dedicated men and women who run my staff and your staffs, and getting everybody together was terrific. I was so glad I was able to be here. You start with really a tremendous amount of energy and blood, sweat, and tears. Government can be helpful, but without you, nothing would happen. So, again, I want to thank everybody in this room. It's a very, very terrible problem. It's not talked about enough. People don't know enough about it. And we're going to talk about it, and we're going to bring it out into the open, and hopefully we're going to do a great deal to help prevent some of the horrific, really horrific crimes that are taking place. And I really can say in this country, people don't realize how bad it is in this country, but in this country and all over the world. So thank you all for being here. Thank you very much.
Here today to discuss the critical issue of human trafficking, both domestically and abroad. I see a lot of familiar faces around the table from the first meeting that was held on this subject in the White House with the President in February. Some incredible nonprofit organizations that have been doing just amazing work. Since then, we've been conducting interagency meetings to understand the scope of the issue, as well as gathering recommendations from the academic, public, and private sector. Today, we bring an additional and critical group to the table, legislative leaders, to discuss concrete steps through legislation. Next week is Combating Trafficking and Child Protection Week in Congress. And many of you have contributed to the 9 bills that will be, the 9 pieces of legislation that will be directly addressing this issue. Combating human trafficking and modern slavery is both in our moral and strategic interests domestically and abroad. According to the International Labor Organization, there are an estimated 21 million human trafficking victims at any given moment in the world. Regrettably, the United States is both a source and destination country for individuals subjected to human trafficking. In 2016, there were over 8,000 cases reported to the National Human Trafficking Hotline, a 35% increase from 2015. These figures are sadly moving in the wrong direction, and it is our responsibility to put an end to human trafficking once and for all. Thanks to Congress and government agencies, we have a robust bipartisan framework which will encourage cooperation and information gathering to ensure that our policies are successful. This is a major priority for the administration, and we look forward to working together in the months and years to come on this issue and many others.
Thank you very much for being with us today as we signed this crucial legislation to combat online sex trafficking and bring criminals to justice. The people behind me have been working on this long and hard. that's political as well as some of our great citizens, and we appreciate it. Most importantly, I want to thank the survivors and families who join us today. I'm signing this bill in your honor, and we are all together, politicians, both Republican and Democrat, signing this and representing this to you in your honor. So thank you all very much. We very much appreciate it. You're very brave. You've endured what no person on earth should ever have to endure, and we are going to do everything in our power to make sure that traffickers are brought to a swift and firm justice. And I've heard statistics where trafficking in the world is more now than it ever has been ever in the history of the world. And you wouldn't believe that with, modern day everything. But they use modern day better than law enforcement can use modern day, whether it's the internet or anything else. And you wouldn't believe that, but trafficking is probably worse today than at any time in history. So I want to thank you for your courage and thank you for helping survivors across our country. And you are not alone. You are not alone. This is a very important day.
This is so important to all of us, and I thank you, Mr. President, so much for signing this bill into law. It means so much to our family to lose your child who has been trafficked, which is modern day slavery in our country, and to get that call on Christmas Eve that your one daughter, your oldest child, has been brutally murdered because she said no, because she did not want to be a part of this, is the worst thing. Unfortunately, my daughter was not the first person who this has happened to, and thanks to you and everyone here, hopefully there won't be many more after her that have to endure this pain. The pain that it has brought on my family is unimaginable.
So there's an honor of your daughter.
Thank you, Mr.